When people put the Mazda CX-5 and the Toyota RAV4 side by side, the conversation almost always lands on reliability. Both of these compact SUVs have carved reputations for being dependable, but dig beneath the surface and a more complicated picture emerges. Reliability is not simply about how long an engine can last. It is also about how few unpleasant surprises pop up, how affordable those surprises are to fix, and how the car feels to live with over time. In this respect, the CX-5 and RAV4 share plenty of strengths, but also diverge in telling ways. Industry ratings paint part of the picture. In recent years, the Mazda CX-5 has earned high marks from J.D. Power, with recent model years scoring into the 80s on a 100-point scale for quality and reliability. That is considered a strong rating, well above average. The Toyota RAV4, by contrast, has hovered in the mid-70s, which is closer to average. For a brand that built its empire on bulletproof dependability, those scores have raised eyebrows. Owner reports echo the same story. Many CX-5 drivers praise the consistency of the vehicle, noting that beyond ordinary maintenance, there is very little drama. Meanwhile, RAV4 owners still appreciate the SUV's rugged dependability, but report more complaints about transmission hesitations, infotainment glitches, or other quirks in certain model years. Cost of ownership is another layer in the reliability argument. On paper, the RAV4 looks a touch cheaper to keep on the road, with annual repair costs averaging just over $400 compared to the CX-5's figure that is slightly higher. But repair costs alone do not reveal how often problems occur or how disruptive they are. The Mazda has generally avoided widespread major issues, though certain turbocharged models have been criticized for oil consumption or ticking noises, and older versions had infotainment screens that could freeze. The RAV4's reputation has taken hits in recent years due to transmission complaints, particularly in models from 2019 to 2021, where owners experienced jerky gear changes or hesitation when accelerating. These are not catastrophic problems, but they do chip away at the sense of unshakable reliability Toyota buyers expect. Durability over long periods is where Toyota has historically dominated. You can still find RAV4s from the early 2000s racking up 200,000 miles or more with only routine maintenance. That track record cannot be dismissed, and it gives Toyota an advantage in resale value as well, since buyers trust that an older RAV4 has many years left in it. The CX-5, being a newer nameplate, lacks decades of back catalog examples, but it has shown encouraging results. Owners report that recent CX-5s hold up well and develop fewer nagging issues as they age compared to many competitors. In fact, the consistency of Mazda's engineering in the last 5 years has earned the SUV a reputation for being one of the most solid choices in its class. Choosing between the two comes down to how you weigh short-term and long-term expectations. The Mazda CX-5, particularly in its latest iterations, is shaping up to be slightly more reliable on average. It delivers fewer complaints per vehicle, scores higher in third-party reliability studies, and leaves owners with the impression that it is a more carefully built machine. The Toyota RAV4, however, still benefits from a long history of durability and a global service network that makes parts and expertise easy to find. Even when problems do occur, fixing them tends to be straightforward because Toyota has such wide support. That support can make the difference between a frustrating ownership experience and a manageable one, especially in regions where Mazda's dealer presence is thinner. Another nuance is how trim levels and engine choices affect reliability. The CX-5's turbo engines offer more excitement, but are more likely to draw complaints about oil consumption or mechanical noises, while the standard engines are generally very robust. The RAV4's hybrid variants add complexity with batteries and electric motors, and while Toyota has a good track record with hybrids, more moving parts always mean more opportunities for problems. If reliability is your top priority, both models are safest in their simplest forms: the naturally aspirated CX-5 and the non-hybrid RAV4. In the end, calling one definitively more reliable than the other is tricky. The Mazda CX-5 is more reliable in the here and now, with stronger ratings and fewer headaches for most owners. The Toyota RAV4 is still the long-distance champion, with decades of durability behind its name and an infrastructure that makes owning one less stressful if something does go wrong. If you prize consistency and a slightly higher chance of a trouble-free experience in the first 5 to 10 years, the CX-5 looks like the better bet. If your goal is to keep a car for a very long time, drive it hard, and trust that it will hold up while also being easy to repair anywhere in the world, the RAV4 remains the safer choice. The battle between Mazda's rising star and Toyota's proven veteran shows how reliability is never a static thing. Toyota still leans on its past but faces challenges in newer models, while Mazda has sharpened its engineering to the point where it can now rival and sometimes outshine Toyota in areas where the brand once had a monopoly. For buyers, that means the decision is less about which SUV is reliable, because both are, and more about which definition of reliability matters most to them. The consistent quality of Mazda's CX-5 today, or the long-lasting toughness and global support of Toyota's RAV4. If you found the video useful, be sure to hit the like button to support us. Thank you.